Happy New Year, YouTube. The name's Fardoon9000, but if you're a subscriber, you'd probably know that. And yes, this is the picture I'm using. I don't have some bizarre Tails fetish, although I'm kind of a furry if I'm gonna be honest. Look, when I looked up Tails sleeping, this was the only one that looked presentable and didn't have anything to do with shagging. I realize that's a bit strange, but well, that's what most people on the internet seem to think of, or the ones that bother uploading pictures anyways. So, yeah. So, the subject I'm kinda gonna go on about are movie tie-in games. These things have been called the worst things in history. Games like, let's think, oh yeah, The Golden Compass, Transformers, Aragon, Iron Man 2 have been called some of the worst pieces of crap to appear on gaming at all. And are they? I'm not gonna review those 4 games because, well, if they're actually right, I want to just be spared the pain. So I'm gonna go back to some games from my childhood. I'm doing a sort of Disney PlayStation retrospective of the Disney games I had as a kid. However, this isn't going to be of every one. I'm only going to be doing about 3 games and that's it. Why 3? Well, here's the thing with the others. One of them I only rented, so I don't have them. Another is broken. Another, I don't know where the hell it is. The 4th one, I couldn't be bothered to go past the tutorial. And the 5th one was because I was kind of caught on time and I wanted to upload this on New Year's Day. So what can be done? So I'm going to be looking at 3 games I had as a kid, or 3 of the games I had as a kid on the PlayStation that were done by Disney. So this is my Disney Interactive. Ow! I just banged my hand off the thing. Disney PlayStation Retrospective. Simple as that, really. Alright, so the first I'm going to be looking at is Lilo and Stitch Trouble in Paradise, developed by Blitz Games. Wait, didn't they make Chicken Gear Solid and Sneak King, the Burger King games on the 360? Okay, to anyone who's interested in Lilo and Stitch, here's one very good tip. Watch the first movie, nothing else. None of the cartoons, none of the other movies, just the original, because everything else is awful! Oh yeah, if you've been looking at the gameplay for a few seconds, you might notice that it looks familiar. Yep, it's a Crash Bandicoot ripoff. This is kind of ironic, because in my first video I questioned about why people, when they think of Wallace and Gromit, think of Crash Bandicoot, and the game must have been made by all the people who had their hands up. I mean, I'm not saying the Crash Bandicoot gameplay is bad, but do all tropical islands have to go with linear paths or some shit? So anyway, in this game you play as Lilo, an orphan girl because her parents were killed in a car crash or a meteor shower, I don't know. Never really went into it that well. Her abilities are, well, butt bashing enemies by jumping in the air and bashing them with her butt, killing enemies by holding out her spoon, which reminds me of Alma from the Fear series for some reason, and probably the most awesome ability of all time, summoning a giant fat man out of the sky to kill people. That is godly. And then there's Stitch, who in the movie we see has 4 arms and super strength, but all he does in the game is spin, spit, and roll around, really. Oh yeah, and a tip for anyone who's getting those coffee cups just to use that spin ability: don't. He'll run faster because he'll go on 2 legs if he has like 20 cups of coffee. Keep that in mind. The first part of the game, or the first 4 levels, involve collecting pictures of something. The next 4 levels involve collecting vinyl records. Maybe she's a stalker of those. Oh yeah, she's a fan of him in the movie. And the final 4 levels revolve around getting dragon radars, tracking devices. These are all hidden around the level. It's not like get the thing in the middle of the level and get to the end. No, you have to find them. There's about 4 in each level. So keep that in mind. About this game, well, it's actually pretty good. I thought this game was awful as a kid, but it's actually pretty good. So, well, yeah, basically this. If you have a PlayStation and like Crash Bandicoot but can't stand the difficulty, then get this game and maybe get other games to see if you can get better and finally complete Warped 100%. One other thing that's pretty awesome is the fact that there's 2 exclusive trailers that involve Stitch invading other Disney movies, which is pretty awesome. I'll just show them to you there.
You get your own movie.
Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends. Oh, I'll be in my room. Get your own movie.
Next game, which is gonna go back to 1997, which is Disney's Hercules, or as it's called on the game case for some reason, Disney's action game featuring Hercules. I know I'm being a bit nitpicking at this, but why call it that? I mean, at the time, Eurocom is famous for making, the developer by the way, is famous for making side-scrolling games. So, exactly why did they make the name? Do they think that Disney's Hercules is going to be a quiz game like that later Hercules game on the PlayStation 2 Legend of Hercules? Or was it going to be a bunch of mini-games? Hooray for uselessness! Honestly, I don't know, but why call it Disney's action game starring Hercules? I mean, what the hell do you think the same guy with that name would have to come up with if he had to name Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3? It'd be a mess. A complete, utter mess of something anyways, I don't know. Either way, the game's, well, what you would expect of sorts at the time. A side-scrolling platform with 3D elements. There are 3 types of gameplay you're going to see in this game. The first is a regular side-scroller. This takes up only 3 or 4 levels for some reason. I honestly don't know why. The second type of gameplay, which runs for 2 levels in the game, revolves around, like, I don't know how to put it, but I guess try doing something akin to the special stages of Sonic 2, but they're in 3D and things can hurt you, yes, especially old frail men. And I guess that's the general idea. The third one, which in the footage you can see I'm sucking horribly at, is, well, the same as the first, but you're on a 3-dimensional plane, and this will go for a few bosses, Hydra and Medusa. This game is also pretty decent, and probably one of my more favorite movie tie-in games. I mean, it's a solid game that's just pure fun. But although I have one complaint, it's short, and Lilo and Stitch had this as well. I mean, can't you just make something that goes on for longer than 2 hours? I mean, look at freaking Lord of the Rings. Their movies go up to about 12 hours, and developers can make like 3 to 5 hours out of just one of those movies. So really, why can't they do the same thing here? I mean, if you just buy Hercules at €60 and expect it to be a long experience, and then complete nearly the entirety of the game in 2 hours, you've just wasted your money. What annoys me even more is the notice if you're playing on the easiest difficulty. You have to play at the harder difficulty to get to the end of the game. Why do they do this? I mean, if I just make the game harder, I'm going to be nearly dead by the time I get there, so it's absolutely pointless. Although, there is one big thing I have to ask about. Oh yeah, but before that, I'm just gonna give my verdict on the game. It's pretty fun. If you like good games and this is up your and you like 2D side scrollers and have a PlayStation, I definitely recommend this because it is a lot of fun. Well, there's one thing I have to ask about. The big olive level, or the city one. It confuses the hell out of me at how screwed up this town is. How? I need to take a deep breath. Alright, so here's what's with this town. Cats get struck by lightning, and when they run like hell, streaks of fire come from their feet. Men in bins run into people and hurt them for some reason. Fat women in particular, are getting rained on by clouds that follow them. Teenage girls are having a dance-gasm of some sort. Only a third of the town's traffic is aware that someone could cross the road, maybe. The criminal underworld is slowly becoming more noticeable as thin and fat men are roaming the streets, stabbing people voiced by hobbits. A minotaur is throwing bricks at people. Buildings are under faulty construction. Birds are taking people to Sligo to rape them. There is a rising of the undead, and a hydra resides just outside of the city. What? How come no one's bothered to try to help? People say Limerick City is in hell. They haven't been to Big Oliver. Whatever the flaming hell this town is called, it seriously needs help. Oh dear God. Oh Lord. Last game. I know this is pretty short, but you're thankful I'm not doing the regular reviews or it would go on for ages. Alright. Next game. I need to call someone.